Hey guys, so to begin with, I am taking this powder and I'm going to mix it with a 4D developer until I get a nice and thick consistency. And you want to have a thick consistency because you don't want that bleach to seep through the lace and get on the hair, because then you'll have like bronze roots, and that's just a whole step you don't want to have to go through. And also, if you see, I'm using a knife to mix, and that's what I'm also going to be using to spread on the closure. I prefer to use a knife because it's easier to manage how much pressure I'm putting on the lace, because you'll have the problem of pressing it too hard in there. And like I said before, you don't want the bleach to get through the lace and on the hair, because that's just going to add an extra tedious step to your process. So after you finish spreading your bleach on your closure, you just want to sit it on some foil. I did it kind of backwards. I usually don't flip it over, but I just had a little brain fart. But after you sit it on the foil, you want to leave it for at least 10 to 15 minutes. And I check on it every 5 minutes just to make sure it's not over bleaching. But in the first clip, you can see those little black dots. Those are what we're aiming to get rid of. For this closure, I left it on for 15 minutes, but after this clip, I actually left it on for an additional like 2 to 5 minutes, just because I wanted the dots to go away a little bit more. After your bleach has sat on long enough to where you can't really see those little black dots anymore, I take some of the Shimmer Lights purple shampoo, and this just helps to neutralize it. But any type of neutralizing shampoo works just as fine. Now we are on to the plucking, and you see me just spraying some water on it. And I learned this tip, and all that does is just help to lay the hair so that you can really get a better look at what all you need to pluck. So what I do is I just spray the closure with some water, and I make a very small part, and with each part I just go down and I just pluck it. Now, it is very important that you comb away after you pluck the rows some, because you want those hairs to be moved back so that you're making sure that you are not over plucking. What I've learned is that it's kind of better to under pluck, because you can always go back and take your time and pluck those little hairs out. But if you over pluck, sometimes it's harder to hide that. You can always use makeup over it or comb some hair over it or something, but you just want to be very careful during this step. You don't have to be really fast at doing this. When I first started, it took me almost probably like an hour to pluck, just because I was really trying to make sure that I was going really slow. But just take your time during this step, eyeball it. You want to have a nice gradient on the hairline. Now, usually Ali Pearl's closures and frontals come pre-plucked, so I didn't have to do too much work. I really didn't even have to go in and pluck this hairline too much, but I just really wanted a really nice scalp effect for this closure. for me to pluck my part, I just like my part a little more wide, just because when it's actually on my head, it looks a little more natural to me. So I just go in and kind of widen it just by plucking a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right, and so forth until it is even.
For the record. Get this one thing clear. Get this one thing. Let's take one thing clear. For the record. Get this one thing. Get this one thing
Next thing I like to do once I have my part widened is just take a small section over from the part, and I kind of pluck that, kind of how we did the hairline, and all this does is make the part look more natural, because this is thinning out the hair around the part so that it's not so bold and bulky looking, and it also helps to lay the hair around the part flatter.
For the record. Get this one thing clear. Get this one thing. Let's take one thing clear. For the record. Get this one thing. Get this one thing For the record. Get this one thing clear.
What I also did off camera was take the part back a little more. I kind of like my parts long and not so short looking, but here I am just showing you how much hair I lost in total while plucking. Now, if you would like to see how I create the baby hairs and actually construct the wig, make sure you go back to my channel and check out part 2.